have to prune this hibiscus tree too, and these are just the cuttings of my main tree. And I had like a huge tree that I got, like really thick trunk. I did 4 air layers on that tree, and I had like a lot of cuttings, and these are the cuttings of one of the air layers. I will show you. I have actually here one of the air layers. This is the last air layer that I did on that tree. So this is this is one of the last air layers that I did on that tree, and I did that air layer 3 times, and I didn't have any luck to get the new roots. So then I get angry, and because I was trying that like for a really long time and no success, so I cut that piece off and I just put it in pure kanuma soil as a cutting, and actually it started to grow. So I definitely have some roots there because it's growing whole summer. So whole summer and now part of the autumn. So I definitely have some roots. I don't know how many and how they look like, but the tree itself, it looks really good. Now I just have to regrow this scar, and I don't know about this bottom branch, and I have to expose the rest of the tree. I don't have that much more in the soil, so this is kind of almost in the line with the roots. So I don't know about this branch. It's actually 2 branches. This is like secondary branch, this one from this first branch. I was more like thinking that this will be my first branch, but it's like way too strong, and I didn't want to cut any branches out of this one because I didn't want to disturb something. I just cut the leaves like very short. Like I just left like this kind of like leaves, so don't need that much water, and now they're falling off. So I just left this kind of tiny pieces of leaves. So this is these trees are actually branches that I cut out of these air layers. So, and now I have them in this pot for 3 years, and I'm like kind of lazy to repot them, and they were like huge, so I cut them back really hard, and they regrow like this, and they're all flowering. And this is the flower, it's kind of red flower. This is the flower of the trees. And now because they go all indoor, I have to just prune them back so they don't take that much space. So I will just like because I don't see that much what is going inside, so I will just prune all the branches up to the down facing leaf, just to reduce this amount of foliage, so I can actually store this somewhere, because now it's just taking like huge amount of space. So I will just like go around the trees and cut all the branches that are fanning outwards. I will just cut it up to the down facing leaf. So here I have like a huge branch with the flowers, unfortunately. And this is actually my leader, so I don't want down facing leaf, I want to up facing leaf. So I have here one leaf. This is the branch so of that same tree. So I will take this, I will shorten this huge leaf, and I can shorten this leaf too. This is also the branch of that same tree, so I will cut it to down facing leaf, and I have leaf here facing up. I will take that leaf totally off. Here I miss one branch here, this one, so that's out of this tree here. This tree looks very interesting, and this is the branch of this same tree, and it's also flowering, and I will cut this short also, like here. So I have this tree. This is just a single trunk tree, just nothing there, nothing interesting. So I will just shorten that so it doesn't take too much space. This leaf, I think it's gone, it's already yellow. So let's go next. Here, this is a bit more interesting tree, and I did cut this one a few times, and this is actually my leader. So I have here two leaves, so I will cut up to this one, and I think this is the first branch of that tree, and I have here a down facing leaf. I will cut it up to there. Also flowers. Here I have one yellow leaf. I think I can cut that yellow leaf off. And now I have this tree here. I have some new buds that are popping down lower that I will actually probably use these lower because this is too big. Here I had one trunk chop here, then I had next one here, because I don't want that huge tree. I want something to grow down lower. I know it cannot grow now because it's packed totally, so I have to repot them next year for sure. So now I will just I will cut it up to the first or second leaf. Okay, second leaf, and I will make this leaf a bit smaller, and this is the branch of that same tree. I will cut it up to the down facing leaf, and this is the leader of that tree, and it's like going totally wild, and I don't need this much. I have one bud here, but I don't think I will use anything out of this. I think because the tree is kind of like, it has some movement here like this, but it's kind of straight, so I could maybe use like kind of subtle movements, so to the left and then back to the right. I could use this as my leader, or I can use one of these buds, so it will be some subtle movement, like kind of S shape, but kind of subtle S shape. So I'm more for using this because it's down lower than this. If I use something out of this, then the tree will be huge. So I'm like trying to, even if I use this as my leader, it will be still like big tree. So I will just cut this off and I will go with this one. I don't need that huge trees. I don't have actually space for them, and I will just cut some of these leaves. I will just leave one. I'm not gonna ever use this, but I will just leave this as a backup plan, and later on in the spring I will cut this off totally. I will use this as my leader and I will repot all the trees. Let's go for the last tree here, and that's the tree in the middle. Also quite straight tree, because that were like quite big. I don't know, can you see that? I have here one more tree. This is kind of some smaller tree. I don't know, can you see that? It's this tiny tree, but I like more that tiny trees than that big trees, because you can make that tree up to yourself. Like when you have that thick branches or like used as a leader, then you cannot change here anything. You have to go with that flow as you have. You cannot bend this, you cannot do anything. Or you can just leave it to grow, thicken up, do hard chop, like hard trunk chop, and regrow all new branches down lower, something similar as I did on that air layer. So this is the last and I think the thickest tree, and this tree has only these two branches. So first one I will take up to the down facing leaf, and this I will cut it up to here, and these leaves I will just shorten them so I have some more light for down lower trees. I have one more small branch here, and that one I will have just to grow. So that's it with this hibiscus tree. This is what I took out of them, quite a lot, but I have some space for the rest of the trees. This tiny little forest is taking too much space, and now I have to prune it a bit. I did prune this forest maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that, but this tree was sitting on the shelf quite like shaded, so it didn't grow that much, but I have a new growth on the jade, but I have like more growth on my kalanchoe. I will try to shorten it as far as I can. Like I will take some of the older leaves off too. The kalanchoe is kind of strange when you don't prune them like hard, then you have all the branches actually on one spot, and it looks bad, and you have to also do some kind of thinning, because this is like too big mess. No light circulation. That's why I'm trying to cut as low as I can, and if I have a new buds popping out, I will take the old leaves off. So I will rely just on that new leaves that are there. This is jade, but I don't have much to cut on that jade. And if I didn't prune this kalanchoe now, they would start to flower now. They will start flowering soon, very soon. And they will flower actually up to the end of the winter. So they flower, I usually get the flowers in the summer and in the winter. So I'm hoping they will flower during the winter. So I'm done with the pruning for now. Now we'll just let the trees to grow and to survive the winter. So this is it, how they look like. I didn't have much pruning on the jade because jade is growing much slower than kalanchoe, so I will let the jade just to grow, and later on in the summer I will do hard pruning on the kalanchoe trees. So this is it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye guys, and have a nice day.